At the age of 81, and with a career that's lasted over half a century, Robert De Niro has played just about every type of character there is, from the good to the outright villainous. In Netflix's new 6-episode limited series, 0 Day, which releases February 20th on Netflix, De Niro dons the role of a former US president. It's one of his most intriguing roles, with George Mullen first introduced as some virtuous Josiah Bartlett type before his flaws are revealed. Making Mullen a well-rounded, realistic character is imperative for the plot, because 0 Day involves a terrorist cyber attack committed against America, with Mullen then put in charge of finding out what happened. As with many political thrillers, 0 Day is dependent on its twists and turns, and not all of them work. Still, with an absolutely packed all-star cast made up not only of De Niro, but Lizzy Caplan, Jesse Plemons, Joan Allen, Connie Britton, Dan Stevens, Matthew Modine, and Angela Bassett, 0 Day is an enthralling acting masterclass, which keeps the series afloat even when it begins to drag under its own weight. If you love the West Wing, Homeland, and similar shows, 0 Day will be right up your alley. What is 0 Day about? Given that the series is co-created and run by Eric Newman, the mind behind Narcos, and every episode is directed by Leslie Linka Glatter, best known for Mad Men and Homeland, you know from the jump what you're getting into and how it's going to be presented. Early on in 0 Day's first episode, we're told that Mullen was the last US president who was able to get things done across party lines. He was very popular and could have run again, but chose not to because his son died. The initial scenes are very dialogue-driven, where we're told how great Mullen is instead of seeing it. America is then put to the test when cyber-terrorists attack, shutting off power to everything countrywide for a full minute. Everyone then gets a message on their phone promising that this will happen again. Eyes turn to the current US president, Evelyn Mitchell Bassett, who must find out who is behind the attack, which killed thousands, before it happens again. Mitchell requests that Mullen lead a special commission to get to the bottom of things and bring the terrorists to justice. With his popularity, and how well-liked he is by both sides, success should be imminent. Despite the people's faith in him, Mullen has his own demons, and more than once, he's tempted to cross the line of what's right and legal to get the job done. 0 Day misses out on depicting the full impact of the attack. A political thriller is only as good as its inciting incident, and this is where 0 Day misses the mark. The terrorist attack should have been made to be a big deal with a wide scope, but instead, we only earn quick glimpses of it on a limited scale. We're told of the devastation, we're told that 3,000 people died, but we don't see the devastation. This doesn't mean that 0 Day needs to turn into a Roland Emmerich disaster piece, with explosions galore and planes dropping out of the sky, but the shock and emotional impact of what happens doesn't land when the viewer isn't made privy to it. Instead, 0 Day is more focused on the aftermath surrounding Mullen's inner circle. People in the streets are scared and angry, and customers storm a bank when it's shut down, but those images are few and far between. 0 Day wants to keep the attention on George Mullen and his people, but it would have helped the series to take a few minutes and leave his side. The death toll alone alludes to our own reality of the 9/11 attacks and the fear afterward, but imagine if that had all just been a movie, and we were only told what had happened at the World Trade Center instead of seeing the unforgettable horror. Compelling characters and a tense last episode make 0 Day worthwhile. However, 0 Day makes up for this story decision by stacking its cast. De Niro is front and center in most scenes, and considering his own political leanings, which often make him a divisive figure, does the series run the risk of becoming a liberal love fest? There is, admittedly, some of that here, without becoming too heavy-handed. With Mullen being in his 80s as well as a man who worked with both sides, had a son with drug issues, and dropped out of the presidential race, it's hard not to draw real-world comparisons, and they don't end there. Evelyn Mitchell is a black woman president who went to college in California, and Dan Stevens plays a raging conspiracy theorist named Evan Green with his own TV show, while Gabby Hoffman stars as Monica Kidder, a tech billionaire who owns her own social media app and is said to be autistic. Thankfully, 0 Day presents a world that only initially feels like our own but then goes in its own direction, especially once the search is on for the terrorists. Everyone thinks Russia is behind the attack, but that would be too easy. Mullen is joined by those who both help and oppose him, and this is where 0 Day really hits its stride. Lizzy Caplan is not only Mullen's daughter, Alex, she's also a congresswoman upset about the commission. Jesse Plemons is Roger, George's most trusted advisor, a man who will do anything for his boss, but who has his dark secrets. Connie Britton is brought in as Valerie, the former chief of staff, and Matthew Modine as Richard Dreyer, the opposition Speaker of the House who doesn't believe in Mullen's mission. The only failure is Joan Allen as Robert's wife, Sheila. She is an extremely talented actress who has starred in political roles before, but here she's frustratingly reduced to the role of the wife. As the plot deepens, Mullen is revealed to be far from the perfect president we thought he was. He makes mistakes and crosses the line, but without becoming a caricature. On top of that, he has strange visions and hears voices, leaving those around him concerned. Is he the target of a psychological attack, or is he losing his mind? All of this leads to a twist ending that seems over the top at first but makes more sense as the layers are pulled away. The finale, especially, is Zero Day's best installment, as Mullen learns the truth, and then has to fight for his own life to expose the culprits. Zero Day aims high and comes up short of the heights of shows like Homeland, but at 6 episodes, it manages to be thrilling without overstaying its welcome. Give Zero Day a 7/10.